Metal screamed as her pearl-white BMW smashed into my tractor during corn harvest. Months of HOA harassment ended with this one insane move, and my cameras caught every second. By sundown, the police were towing her car away. Want to know how it all went down? Buckle up. The morning air was cold enough to make my breath look like smoke, and the smell of diesel from my combine mixed with the sweet scent of ripening corn. Harvest day isn't just work out here. It's survival. That's why my stomach sank when I saw the flash of Pearl, white blocking my access road. Her BMW, again, parked sideways across the gravel like a barricade. I slowed the combine to a crawl, cameras rolling as always. Months of harassment had taught me never to work without evidence. Through the windshield, I could see her inside. Phone up like she was broadcasting the moon landing. She rolled down her window, just enough to shout something about unsafe farming practices and temporary road closures. My tires crunched closer, dust swirling in the early light. Then it happened. Instead of moving her car, she threw it in gear and lurched forward. Metal screamed as her front end slammed into the heavy steel of my corn head attachment. The impact sent a shudder up through the machine, a sound like a soda can crushed under a boot, but 10 times louder. Steam hissed from her hood, and her phone was still in her hand. I hit the brake and sat back, heart pounding, camera still recording. She'd finally crossed the line I'd been waiting for. What she didn't know was that every second of this was already evidence, and the day wasn't even close to over. Name's Jake, third-generation farmer on 220 acres of Indiana corn. My granddad built this road before the highway even existed. It's more than dirt and gravel to me. It's a lifeline. For decades, nobody cared. Then the Meadowbrook Estates subdivision sprouted up next door, complete with manicured lawns, HOA rules, and a president who treated everything like her personal fiefdom. Brenda, that's her name, moved out here for rural charm, but couldn't stand the realities of rural life. Tractors, fertilizer smells, early mornings. She called my life's work a lifestyle choice, and decided my legal easement across a strip of their common area was destroying her kingdom. I tried to be neighborly, narrowed my road use, waved, even offered free sweet corn. She responded with noise complaints, petitions, and cameras aimed at my fields. Each month the stakes crept higher, until harvest season arrived, and with it, the showdown. At first it was letters on my gate about environmental hazards. Then came surprise county inspections after anonymous complaints. She even set up a folding chair at my access road, like a one-woman checkpoint, clipboard in hand, snapping photos of every machine that passed. My neighbor Jim called it Brenda's Border Patrol. The thing about farming is we're creatures of habit. She learned my schedule and was always there, documenting, accusing, posting on her Facebook group, Concerned Citizens of Meadowbrook County. Photos of normal corn dust labeled toxic clouds. Claims that my combine was industrial farming equipment operated without oversight. Her favorite threat: I have connections at City Hall. Classic HOA power play. But the more she escalated, the calmer I became. Because I knew something she didn't. Indiana's right to farm law protects established farms from nuisance complaints. All I had to do was document her harassment and wait. Have you ever dealt with an HOA neighbor who thought they owned the county? Drop a comment. You're not alone. While Brenda played pretend police, I became a quiet investigator. County courthouse on Saturdays, property records in hand. My grandfather's 1943 easement, 30 feet wide, ironclad, recorded for eternity. I'd only ever used 12 feet trying to be polite. That courtesy was over. I hired a surveyor to mark the real boundaries, with bright orange stakes. Turns out her prized rose garden and surveillance chair were sitting squarely on my legal right-of-way. Cameras? Installed at every entrance. Activity logs, weather data, timestamps. My operation became a living case file. Each morning, as she waved her clipboard like a badge, I smiled knowing the trap was setting itself. She thought she was documenting me. In reality, she was starring in my evidence reel. Farmers know patience. We plant seeds and wait. And I could feel harvest time coming. Not just for my corn. Harvest morning. Crisp air, sky like polished steel. I fired up my combine, cameras blinking red. My son texted from the house. She's back at the road. Sure enough, Brenda's BMW sat sideways across my easement, engine running, phone streaming live. She held up a hand like a traffic cop. Unsafe agricultural practices. This road is temporarily closed for public safety, she declared through a cracked window. Ma'am, you're trespassing on my easement, I said, keeping my voice even. Please move your vehicle so I can harvest. We'll see what Homeland Security says about your chemical weapons, she snapped. Yes, actual words. My jaw tightened. And then, instead of moving, she shifted into gear and drove straight at the stationary front of my combine. Crunch. Metal on metal. Steam from her hood. Coolant spilling onto gravel. Her live stream still rolling. Comments flooding in. Is this even legal? I took a deep breath. She'd finally handed me everything, in high definition. I dialed Deputy Martinez. She's blocking my access road again. Just rammed my equipment. Stay calm, Jake. We're on our way, he said. Within minutes, 2 patrol cars rolled up, lights flashing. The smell of coffee and authority filled the morning air. Martinez approached Brenda's window. Ma'am, you need to move your vehicle immediately. You're committing criminal interference with agricultural operations. I'm the HOA president. I have authority to protect community safety, she retorted, still live streaming. Martinez's face didn't move. HOA authority doesn't extend to blocking easements or ramming farm equipment. Step out of the vehicle. She refused. They opened her door. She shrieked about agricultural terrorism as the deputies calmly took statements. I handed over my footage, plus screenshots of her live stream. Tow truck arrived. Watching that BMW get winched onto the flatbed felt like a decade of patience paying off in 5 minutes. Ever seen karma hit this fast? The crash wasn't the end, it was the spark. Her insurance company, already suspicious of her business use of the car, denied coverage for the deliberate collision. $40,000 BMW? She was on the hook personally. Meanwhile, the HOA erupted. Neighbors discovered she'd been spending their dues on legal consultation with her husband's company to fund her crusade. A retired accountant neighbor dug into the books and found tens of thousands missing. At the annual budget meeting, 120 angry homeowners showed up. I didn't even have to speak first. Eleanor, the accountant, laid out the numbers like a prosecutor. When my turn came, I projected a 20-minute compilation. Brenda blocking roads, pouring motor oil to fake spills, accelerating into my harvester. Her own live stream sealed it. The votes to remove her from the HOA board and press charges weren't even close. For once, the room was unified, and it wasn't against the farmer. Months later, the legal dust settled. Brenda faced criminal interference charges, insurance fraud claims, and a civil lawsuit from her own HOA. She lost the BMW, her board position, and eventually, her freedom. My farm, on the other hand, gained allies. The HOA used recovered funds to upgrade the gravel on my access road, the same road she tried to block. We started a community farm-to-table day where suburban kids climb on tractors and learn where food comes from. Property values actually rose once the drama ended. I built an online farmer's documentation toolkit based on my case so others can protect themselves. The story that began with harassment ended as a model for cooperation. If you're watching this thinking, that sounds like my neighbor, remember, patience and documentation beat drama every time. Drop your own HOA horror story in the comments. You'll be surprised how many people have faced the same fight. And if this story had you cheering or cringing, hit like and subscribe for more true tales of petty tyrants meeting immovable farmers. Because sometimes the best revenge isn't shouting, it's letting the evidence harvest itself.